The best thing you could possibly do to repay Osho, if you were one of his sannyasins, was to wake up and be a light so others may see, because that's what he wanted.
Why do you love Osho?
Because I love. I can talk more about my gratitude to him than the love, because the love can't really be spoken about, it just is. A gratitude, how do you thank somebody who helped set you free? How can you possibly repay them? So when I think about Osho, I feel so much gratitude, always, and so much love, always. I don't think people actually realise what someone who is awake, who is a master, has actually sacrificed to be a light so others may see. When coming towards enlightenment, there's no wanting enlightenment anymore. As a matter of fact, there's no desires at all. There's just nothing. But there is a kind of a choice, because you know that you're moving towards your own death, the I, that is. And then you know that there won't be anything after enlightenment for you. It's the end. You'll be gone. And you get a choice in a way. Do I keep moving towards enlightenment where I will no longer exist? Or do I not? Do I hang out here a bit longer and play? Because if your consciousness levels are that high that you're ready for enlightenment, you won't be suffering anymore, you'll be at peace. Life will be quite beautiful. And so this choice presents itself. Do I go for enlightenment? What's in it? There's absolutely nothing in it for you as an I. You don't have a future. You no longer even have a past. It's all gone. So why would you do it? And the answer comes back. You would do it because you are experiencing love and compassion for everybody you see. And you do it so you may become a light so others may see. And Osho was a light so others could see. But to become that light, he sacrificed himself. He died. I remember when I first met Osho personally, there was no one there, just total absence. And it was the first time I'd ever met anyone without them being there. It was like you could fall into him. There was just nothing there. The chair was truly empty. And I realised there was two types of people on the planet. Those that were awake and those that were asleep. And he was awake. But I say the word he, but there was no he there. There was nobody there. The chair was empty. In enlightenment, you don't make it. You as an I can't come to that party. You die. You disappear. And if you come back, well, enlightenment's over. It was only a satori. But if you don't come back, and awareness stays aware of itself, that is enlightenment. So he sacrificed his life so I could see the flame that he had created, the vehicle for higher consciousness in himself and around himself. And he taught me how to die for truth. He taught me how to surrender for love. So the gratitude for him is immense. How do you repay someone who has helped set you free? Not possible. The best thing you could possibly do to repay Osho, if you are one of his sannyasins, was to wake up and be a light so others may see. Because that's what he wanted.
Despite that gratitude that you have for Osho, is there anything that he did that you disagreed with?
Heaps of things. He was an explorer. He tried so many different ways to help people learn acceptance, let go, towards surrender. And some of those things worked and some of them failed. But he never stopped trying. He was an explorer. He was amazing. So many different methodologies used to get people to learn surrender, learn acceptance, learn to let go. Because ultimately, if the mind has learned unconditional surrender, which is a non-doing, it has learned everything it needs to learn to facilitate enlightenment. That's it.
You mentioned interviewing Osho and you realising that there was no one there. There was two different types of people on the planet. How did that change you after that interview?
Well, first of all, I'd never had someone stop my mind by their presence. And as I was asking my questions, my mind stopped working. And so I would read the question, and I could read one word at a time, not knowing what the next word meant or what connection it had to the word I was saying, and not in any way remembering what I just said. And that was the first time that had happened. I was blown away by that. And I realised that, wow, this guy, I had so underestimated what this guy was about. I had no idea of what enlightenment was. Within 2 years, it was 2 years, a year and a half of that interview I had with him, the satori started. I started finding myself as the universe, without an I. And I put that down to the time that I spent with him. He opened me right up, changed my whole life direction.
Lastly, there are millions of Osho sannyasins who never met Osho today. Do you have a message for these sannyasins?
I can only echo what Osho said, because I believe it's true also. Osho said, if he dies, if he leaves the body, find a living master to be with. My understanding of that is dead masters don't kick butt. And so when he died, left his body in 1990, I gave up on enlightenment because I didn't think there were any other living masters on the planet, actually. And decided to go for heart, or more solidly for heart. Before I'd been going for enlightenment. And I decided to go for heart, which is a little different. To perceive heart, you just have to be wide open. And so I practiced openness earnestly and continued the practices of meditation and self-inquiry and whatever else I learnt from him. But the practice of openness, if you do it correctly, you have to remove all the obstacles that are in the way of openness. And in removing all the obstacles that are in the way of openness, you are removing all the obstacles that are in the way of enlightenment. He's a very beautiful, beautiful man. I think he was very misunderstood in a lot of ways. First of all, I don't think the world understands what enlightenment is. I don't think the world even understands what higher consciousness is. Because most of the world is locked in lower consciousness, dreaming their life away, thinking they're living in reality when they're really living in their heads, thinking constantly. Through his meditations and the practice of them, I discovered no mind, and I liked it. Just being here without a thought is quite beautiful, it's quite brilliant. Just being aware of what is real. And everything is real except what you think. It's quite nice, it's peaceful. I don't think it's very peaceful to live in your head, thinking constantly, usually problem solving. He also gave me the name Vishrant, which means relax or restful. And I took it on as a sadhana. A sadhana is a teaching. Because I was not a relaxed guy when I really met him. I was a high-flying businessman. And I had to learn to relax. And so I made it a point that I had to learn that. Because it is a relaxed mind that supports higher consciousness. It is a relaxed mind that supports the perception of love. It is a relaxed mind that supports the potential of enlightenment. So much to be grateful for.
What would you recommend to go from cold welcoming to warm welcoming?
Choice. Choose warm welcoming, or you won't. It doesn't work actually. Cold welcoming doesn't work. Cold welcoming is still closure.
Yeah, it feels like closure.
It is closure. Warm welcoming is openness. And it's only really in openness that we allow ourselves to feel what's there. We can't do it while we're resisting, while we're closed, while we're defended. So I discovered my heart, my first time that I discovered unconditional love, in absolute openness. And it blew my mind. That blew my mind. It's like, wow, there's something here that's more valuable than success. Let's see, I found that in 1987. I'd already been retired for quite a few years. I retired when I was 28. And I thought that I'd climb to the top of the mountain in business, and there's nothing there. It's a lie. We get conned. We get conned thinking that happiness lies in being successful, owning land, owning houses, owning Rolls Royces, having a wife. Being successful in the world, it's rubbish. It doesn't make you happy. We were all conned. The only thing that really, genuinely makes you happy is love.
We talked about taking sannyas as kind of a second chance, and it made me think about how I've always been quite harsh on myself and expected myself at quite a high level, and not really accepted a second chance if it's come up. I've always beaten myself up thinking that I should have done it the first time correctly.
Right.
And I kind of expect to be like told off or expect to be punished for something, and then I don't think that if I've been punished enough by other people, I take it on myself. And I would like to know how I can start loving myself more.
Why don't you start by being kind to you? You see, if you can be kind to you, you're not going to have problems being kind to others. If you can be kind to you, you can even be kind to those who consider you their enemy. But the kindness has to begin inside of you. And what the kindness does is it softens you. You become your own best friend, and best friends don't beat each other up. Currently, you're not your own best friend because you're beating yourself up. That's sad. Be kind to you. Be gentle with you. Be sweet with you. See where that takes you. And you will fail many times, but if you practice being kind with you, it will become a default pattern after a while. The old pattern of beating yourself up will last for a while, but don't entertain it. Be kind with you. Be gentle with you. Ultimately, be loving with you. Because even if you are successful, how happy are you going to be if you got to be successful by beating yourself up?
I feel like I've always found my happiness by making others happy.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to be happy, actually, is to be in service to others.
But putting myself first to the stage where I'm loving myself and then others, do you recommend that? Because I'm still in service, but I'm forgetting the part where I'm servicing myself. Maybe.
When you actually are kind and gentle and loving with yourself, you put out an energy field that is kind and caring and loving. When you beat yourself up, what sort of energy field do you put out? Yes, that's true. And so our present to whoever we meet is actually our presence. That's our gift to everyone we meet. So what kind of gift do you give when you meet someone? If you're kind and loving and gentle and sweet with yourself, that's what you'll be giving.